Welcome, seekers, to a very special and tender space here. So this is really a special transit, and I wanted to talk about it, and I was waiting for the right time, and here it is. I'm feeling particularly tapped into the most vulnerable of energies, very tender space that I am in at the moment. So this is the perfect chance to talk about the Jupiter retrograde in Scorpio. This is so profound, and I really believe that in sitting down here, there's an opportunity for all of us to utilize this energy to really live a richer, fuller life. And that's because this is some of the deepest, most beautiful, connected, healing energy that is around on the collective because of the combination going on here. So Jupiter goes retrograde 4 months of every year, pretty much. About every 13 months, for every 13 months, there's a 4-month period of retrograde. And this year, Jupiter's hanging out in Scorpio. So our 4-month retrograde begins on March 8th at 23 degrees of Scorpio and moves all the way back to 13 degrees of Scorpio on July 10th, and then it goes direct again. So the next 4 months, we're going to be diving into a very dynamic, very intense process. Now, Jupiter is an outer planet. It doesn't wreak the havoc of maybe a Mercury or Venus retrograde where the immediacy of, miscommunications or things like that you could sense. It has a bit of a softer element to it, right? This is happening a third of the year. So this isn't something that's turning everything upside down. In fact, what it's doing is it's working at a deeper level, right? It's good to have these integration periods. Now, Jupiter is a benefic, wonderful energy. It's all about expansion. We want to take something and we want to expand it. We want to see what's next. We want to go over the horizon. We want to play with it. We don't want to just sit in the same old. We want to constantly be pushing forward. Sages out there, I know you know what I'm talking about. And this is pretty personal for Sages because this is your energy taking a moment to do some integration. But the thing with Jupiter is it doesn't stop its expansive inherent nature just because it's retrograde, but it does do internal work in the expansion rather than external. Now, it's already been a really interesting ride having Jupiter in Scorpio, which happened back in October, I believe. It moved signs from Libra to Scorpio. And it's already changed the collective atmosphere. But with the retrograde in Scorpio, this is so beautiful. Because Scorpio energy is the deepest healing energy. So you have the planet of expansion, taking a moment to integrate, doing the internal work, right? In the most potently healing sign of all. Scorpio is pure magic, and I have so much respect and love for Scorpionic energy. Personally, I have about 3 placements in Scorpio, and a lot of the great healers are people with Pluto in Scorpio, Saturn in Scorpio, or if you have a lot of Scorpio in your chart, there's plenty of people out there who have Sun, Moon, Venus, Mercury, in their chart. When you leverage Scorpionic energy at its highest level, it is the essential healing toolkit. Because transformation means we are not holding on to the past. We are not holding on to a storyline. We are no longer holding on to identity or a concept that we feel we need to keep holding on to for an unknown amount of time, forever, right? It holds no prisoners, which is why it's scary. But what's so cool about it is we have the intensity of Scorpio saying we can't stay the same. We cannot stay the same. We are always being asked to turn over. We are always transforming. And we have this benefic, warm, vibrant, positive energy slowing down, going internal, and saying, yeah, you're right, we can't stop transforming. So let's get real. So, if you didn't know about this transit going about your life, you may notice these very deeply intense, in tune moments with people and within yourself consistently from now until July. And there's going to be a really nice sextile with Pluto, the planet of transformation in Capricorn, which has got that grounded, focused energy, and it gives it a little bit more of a practical element to it, right? Of course, everything's going to be moving around for 4 months, so the character of this retrograde is really expansive, and like I said, it's not something that's going to be happening overnight or be really traumatic or turn your life upside down until July. It doesn't have that effect at all, but it is profound because, like I said, Jupiter is pretty much moves signs every 13 months, so it's every 12 years pretty much this type of healing energy comes in. It doesn't happen all the time. So when you get these 4 months, it's a really, really valuable tool set. Things you might notice are happening during this retrograde. And I think this will be very personal for Scorpios, very personal for Sagittarians, and anybody who has a lot of influence with both of those signs. But everybody's going to be feeling this. This is collective. This is truly a collective moment, and I think it's going to be beautiful for what is going on in the world right now and the revolution that is taking place energetically. It is going to be a time where everybody's vibration is going to be increased, and we are going to be working at a higher level, and so that's another reason I'm very excited about this. Time will start to feel a little more relative, which is beautiful. That's such a Jupiter thing, though. When you're so expanded, a minute can become a lifetime. A day can become a lifetime. Or 3 weeks can go by and it can feel like that. Time is a construct, and you will be feeling some of that. Along with that, if you're somebody who practices guided meditation or meditation of any kind, this may be a time where you find you are taken to some very beautiful, deep places. You may be taken back to places where beliefs were put into your body and into your mindset as a small child, or any point in your life that has shaped how you are moving about the world. This is a retrograde that's asking you to look at where you have felt pulled back by those storylines, which is kind of heavy. It can take you, if you are doing that kind of work, if you are doing sound healing, or you are doing meditative work where you're connecting in with your soul journey, and you do take a little trip to specific points in time where somebody told you a narrative, or you told yourself a narrative, or a narrative was happening around you that shaped your reality. This may be a time where you visit that and you make peace with it and you transform. And another element to this transit, the people you meet and work with during this time, the experiences you have during this time are the type of partnerships and meetups and experiences that have the potential to improve your life for years to come. There's a really, this is all intuitive here. There is, because of the nature of this healing that's collective and that is also individual, it's both at the same time. It's bringing together people who need each other to do softer healing. We have teachers throughout our lives, and we all know this, right? We have teachers that are very challenging, that will strip us to our bone and make us see. And we have teachers who are a little frustrating and will rev up something about us learning boundaries. The people that are coming in during this transit are the soft teachers. I am about to tear up. I just think everybody needs some soft teachers right now. The soft teachers, you know what I'm talking about. The people who come in and they show you a different lens with love and patience and so much warmth and light that it's easy to change with them, to change with the world, to change with yourself. It's easy to forgive yourself. It's easy to change a narrative. And that's what's needed right now. The soft teachers, you know. Yeah. So we have a few things going on. Visiting old storylines that no longer serve us. Holding us, that have held us prisoner. Meeting soft teachers. Playing with time and finding that it is not static and it is very dynamic. This will be a time where tears could be really bubbling up. This can be a time where you may have to take extra space for yourself. I highly recommend really spend time with the people who make you feel safe and at home. Make sure you take extra time to do the integrative work, because this is integrative energy. Be so kind and patient with yourself, because I do love Scorpio energy. I love it. But Scorpio energy takes no prisoners. And if it is time for you to release a storyline, a belief about yourself, a belief about the world, a belief about what's supposed to be happening, and it's really bubbling up in you, Scorpio is like, it's getting expanded and we're in a retrograde, it is going to demand that you drop it. That can take over your energetic system a little bit if you're having a poignant moment like that throughout this process. Be so gentle with yourselves. This is always true. Everything I'm saying right now is always true about process, always true about the dynamic nature of time, existence, energy, vibration. It is always dynamic. It is always flowing. We can always be relaxing and releasing. We can always be focusing on the next thing. That's always, always true. But like I said, there's a potency to this transit that is calling us to give ourselves some grace and give others grace. When I was talking about Jupiter, the planet, the literal planet in our solar system, is such a fascinating thing. We just got, these pretty brand new images of Jupiter and these amazing storms that are constantly brewing on this planet. And these storms last for years. Time and existence on Jupiter, of course, our physical bodies, the way we are, would never be on this planet. It's a gaseous planet. It doesn't work the way that it does here. We're no longer working with the concept of things needing to get done on a deadline, or things needing to be a certain way at a certain time, or our identities fulfilling some kind of time lapse. And I honestly think that that is something that's really hard to fathom when our entire world often works on deadline, on value, on absolute monetary value, on what your time is worth, on what that time is. So to have this energy working at you behind the scenes, there's a dissonance there, right? Between what we're taught in our working culture and what we're taught and what's really going on at a soul level. But that's where I'm saying this, keep an eye out for the people that you're meeting up with, because when we can meet each other in these little special moments, and when we can allow ourselves to meet each other, we can see past the funny little constructs of time and value and worth that have been constructed around us in the material world, and therefore we can transcend. And that's where I'm saying the collective energy is going to really benefit from this. This deep, deep energy. I'm not pulling cards tonight because I just said it all right there. You know, I couldn't pull cards for the next 4 months for all of you, because I can guarantee you every single card, every single experience is supposed to be felt and worked through during the next 4 months. This is Kismet time. This is magic time. This is time where things are going to have an extra intensity to them. And that's exciting, especially if you're already with the program. So I hope this was helpful. I'm telling you, part of the reason I wanted to film this is because I do want you all out there who are listening to give yourself that grace, to give yourself that space, to give yourself the opportunity to release and transform, and to know that in your tenderest moments, in the moments where you feel the least lovable, the least understood, the least able to go forward another day, those are transformative moments that deserve to be acknowledged and embraced and met with kind and soft teachers. I strive to be one of those for you out there. So for those of you who are hurting now, know that we are out there and we are with you. And that voice that tells you that you are inherently flawed, inherently unlovable, inherently doomed to relive over and over again and experience a construct as real as it was. You are inherently valuable, and that value works on a different scale than what shows up in the bank account. It does not show up in the ways that sometimes our society has taught us that it will. But with all of that being said, know you are loved, know you are held, know that we are all with you, and I know that you're all with me, and that I'm very excited for the collective experience of this transit and for what it brings into our lives as far as love and beauty and hope. I love you all so, so very much. Thank you so much for coming on this journey with me over the last year. It has been so beautiful, and I can't wait to do more and experience more and create more and do more with all of you as we move forward together. I plan on continuing to strive to bring more light and warmth to this world every day. And with that, I wish you all a beautiful Jupiter retrograde in Scorpio. It is sublime, and I love you, my seekers.